Hello everyone, this is Endgame Arts. We're doing another unboxing, another breakdown, another demo. This is Knights of Azure. It's a pretty well-established JRPG. It's nothing really new in the genre, but it's definitely got some interesting elements to it that really makes it shine compared to other ones that I've played. Basically, the story is between two entities long ago fought, basically light and dark. And then light defeated dark, but it ended up spreading his blood, his blue blood, across the entire the island or the land, which anybody or anything that it touches gets washed by the blue blood will transform into fiends, monstrous ghouls of monsters, as you can see here. So basically, when the nighttime comes, everyone has to stay shut inside their house because the blue blood is on a rage. So you play as a girl whose job is to eradicate all the dark fiends, the blue blood monsters. But you're kind of a special warrior. You're part demonic. You got velvet blood, so you're part demon, if you will. And so your mission is to eliminate them all. But it turns out that the Dark Lord's coming back, and it's your job to prevent his return. You have to save your best friend, who is a priestess. She needs to be sacrificed to seal up the gate, and you're against it. So you got to figure out a way through the story to solve what it is. Your main hub area is a hotel. This is where you save your game, look at certain updates. You can talk to people, go shopping, do all your upgrades and the weapons upgrades and stuff like that and status. Now, I can be very specific. You can only do this when you're at a hotel. You cannot equip stuff or check for your levels and all that stuff unless you're at the hotel. The game works like if you ever played a game like Folklore, I don't know, it's kind of like Familiars, where each familiar is assigned to a certain buttons to your configuration, and each familiar has a certain abilities that aid. Like, one's can heal, one's got more of an aggressive attacking, one does like an auric effect, and another one does a defense. Now, each one has their own benefits and their weaknesses to them. So you always got to take that in consideration of what familiars you're bringing out to or on the battlefield with you. And when they do get a level up, and they do have equipment stats to them. So, and also when you level them up, they'll have their own special select abilities you can choose for them. It's like one boost attack 10% or boost defense 10%. You have to make the choice. Now, your main character does level up as well, and there's a currency in the game called Blue Blood, and use that to specifically do certain things, like make newer familiars for you to summon, or buy special items through a special store, a demon store. There's games are scattered between chapters. Is an uncommon design. There's a bunch of encyclopedias that explains like a lot of the monsters, their abilities, how many you've slain, and all the items and all the lore in the game. And there's not a whole lot of familiars, but you can have more than many of them, so you can like build your own versions between them. And I want to be also specific. You can actually have like your own sets of familiars. So like you want like this set here, you have 2 fighters and 2 healers. Then you can build another set later to allow you to have like whatever you feel comfortable with, and then you can have like the 4 sets in the game. As I've said, there's a lot of tutorials and explanations into the game to learn how to play. It's not a super hard game, but it's one of those games. It's a very grindy. It's a very dungeon crawler kind of style, where you're just basically going back and training as much as you can to make you and your familiars as powerful as they can be. It's one of those games you can become like a powerhouse if you just can play it just right and know all your familiars' abilities and your limitations as well. There, as I've said, there's like a lot of stuff you can unlock and a lot of items and inventories in the game. I must be specific to let you know that this game is only in Japanese. There is no English dub whatsoever in the game. So if this is a turnoff for a lot of people, I'm sorry, but there is no English voice acting at all in the game. Now, the game isn't fully in English, as you can see, and there's English subtitles, but there is no way to get English voice acting, period. The game is a pretty straightforward kind of game, JRPG as we know and as we've come familiar with. The graphics are really well made and well designed and smooth and crisp. It's a very more anime-oriented game than most of other games I usually play in JRPGs. I also want to emphasize this game is a very Yuri kind of game. What I mean by Yuri is like a kind of a female on female kind of close companionship. As you can see here, it is a giant good open world map. Not really open world, but section selected of dungeons you can go to. Its game's got pretty good length to it. It's nothing too fancy, but it's nice to be able to explore and try out new areas to your liking. But as I was saying, the game has a Yuri feel to it, so keep that in mind if you're kind of not into that kind of stuff. So bear that in mind. I'm not on any side. I don't mind it. So we'll go ahead and jump now to the combat in the game. The combat game is a typical hack and slash, kind of what we've come to expect. But you can come and summon your familiars. You have one that's a leader who will always be with you right as you get into a new dungeon. Then you can summon your other familiars by holding R1 and hitting the commands that you put them in. You have a weak attack, normal attack, and then you have a powerhouse attack, which you just saw me do there. It's good to use this in a combination with your familiars because they also have SP and HP as well. You gotta balance them out and know what familiars you're using with your special abilities, because sometimes you can actually summon one, like that big tree golem there. He can summon a big orb shield, blast around him, so when you do your power attack, you can even do much more devastating damage. You got your the fairy looking thing over there, Rise, as a healer, and then you got your little demon looking thing, which is a giant like fighter, your fighter imp. There's several kinds of familiars in the game. Now, they don't call them familiars, but they're just familiars. As I said, you can customize it to your perfect liking and how you feel what you want to set up. There's lots of item drops as you're exploring. There's even temporary ones that does like armor boost and attack boost and so on and so forth. So always look out for item drops here and there. You can actually cut grass and break certain objects, like open up chests by just smacking it, which will have whatever items that might be inside them. As I said, the game is nothing pushes the boundaries of the genre, but it does introduce some very interesting formulas in the game, and I do appreciate this design a lot. Now, as I've said, it's very Japanese or anime oriented, which is not something I'm typically really into. I like a little bit more, not like a mixture of more realistic, but more, I don't mind a little bit of anime touch to it. It's all in all not a bad game, and it's good fun. It's got great battling music. It's very interesting what's going on in the story, and the familiar systems are really great. You can build up a very unique system of how you want your enemies, or not enemies, but your familiars to be, and how you want your main character to deploy in the battle. As I've said before, though, when you're in the battlefield of the dungeon, there is a time limit in the game. I don't really care for this system, but it's there. It's like a nighttime thing where you have to get through the dungeon as quick as you can, but before the time runs out, then you just get thrown all the way back out of the hotel. There is a checkpoint system in the game where if you reach a certain point in the game, you can get back to the hotel right where you last left off. I also want to point out there's a special transformation ability in the game where you tap into your demon blood inside you and be able to transform it into an ultimate powerhouse demon monster, which not only you get powerful, but all your familiars as well get super powerful as well. This was a quick breakdown and understanding of the game. I hope you enjoyed it, and hit that like subscribe button if I could help you in any way and were interested in buying more. And if you want to see more videos from me, I'll leave descriptions below if you want to order any copies for yourself. So thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye bye.